Hello and thank you for staying tuned to News Central TV. I am Adebola Adedugba. Here are stories making the headlines beyond the continent. We begin the news in Asia, where Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has expressed support for an Islamist-led rebel advance in Syria, wishing it to continue without incident as the rebels aim for the capital Damascus. Erdogan stated that he had never received a response from Syria's President Bashar al-Assad regarding reconciliation talks, adding that he had told him to come so that they could meet to discuss Syria's future, but received no positive reply. As the rebels capture more cities from Assad's forces, Syria has become a growing international concern. The Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan is set to meet with Russian and Iranian counterparts in Qatar on Saturday to discuss the Syrian civil war. Erdogan has previously sought reconciliation with Assad with Russia's mediation, but has yet to receive a favorable response.
İtibariyle tabii İdlib, Hama ve Humus hedef tabii Şam. Muhaliflerin bu yürüyüşü şu an itibariyle devam ediyor. Biz de bunu gerek istihbarat gerekse bütün medyadan takibini yapıyoruz. Tabii temennimiz kazasız belasız bir şekilde Suriye'deki bu yürüyüş devam etsin diyeceğim. Size bir çağrımız olmuştu. Gel görüşelim ve Suriye'nin geleceğini birlikte belirleyelim, tayin edelim demiştik. Ne yazık ki tabii Esad'dan bu işe olumlu bir cevap alamadık.
The commander of the Kurdish-led force in Syria has expressed openness to talks with Turkey and Islamist-led rebels. Mazloum Abdi, leader of the Syrian Democratic Forces SDF, said on Friday that his group seeks to de-escalate tensions with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and other parties aiming to resolve issues through dialogue. Abdi noted the group's surprise at the sudden collapse of Syrian government forces on the front lines, which allowed fractions to take control of large areas, creating a new political and military reality. The SDF controls large parts of northern Syria, and Abdi emphasized the need of discussions to address the shifting dynamics in the region.
ام دخوازن پسکری که بدولت تکرار برای چارسری برای دیالوگ چارسر بکن دیسا بیاری داجی ام دزانن هزی کوالسیون روسیه آوانا جش بکو تانسیون دا که بحری مانا تانسیون دا که بدولت تکرار هودانی وانجی هنه لبری ام جاره که دیجی دبیجن ما لبا هریمان سری دا منبج هریم دیتر باکرو وزارت سوری ابدا اب 4 سال ام تدبیر خود دگرن اما دا کاری مهنه ام قال خارج البيجن البحر منا وهذا ما تريدك هذا سوريا ديمقراطيك تاكو ام وانا لهم برح حموش وزير ريشان بباريس نزانن المجرى تاخن اي كردي الحلب مانا الودر كي اجمالي كي مازن قال ما هيج دسدو 50,000 بتر خركي قال ما الودر كي هي انا بن خطري دانا دور بيتش دانا الودر كي يجي هزي محلي هنا خركي توطا خان حتى أنا بقهرماني قال لي مد باريزن حتى أنا حتى بدمجي بشفاري خادنا باريزن أم دقازن بسكريكا تاخين كردي لحلب بري ديالوجي بتشرشوكي كو خركي مال وربمينه ناس ما خوي كردي بباريزينه الوهري ما كان بأوجتي ده جيب بقري ده حلب النهضة جيب بقري بتشرشوكي ده هوداني مهنك وأم شارسيريكي جيرا بيبي.
Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has confirmed that Iraq is intensifying diplomatic efforts to address the crisis in Syria, citing its clear impact on Iraqi security. Now, his remarks preceded a meeting between top diplomats in Baghdad, Damascus and Tehran to discuss the ongoing conflict in Syria. Sudani reiterated Iraq's stance in support of Syria's unity and stability. Iraq's Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein expressed concerns over the development emphasizing the need for continued coordination between Iraq and Syria. Both countries, still recovering from the Islamic State group's past influence, have ramped up security measures, including Iraq sending armored vehicles to its border. Meanwhile, Syrian rebel leader Abdul Muhammad al-Jolani urged Iraq to stay out of Syria's war.
ستبادر محاولة لاجتماع عدد من الدول لعقد اجتماع عدد من الدول في بغداد لمناقشة الموضوع السوري.
President Ching-te has expressed confidence in deepening cooperation with the upcoming Donald Trump administration. The statement followed a call with U.S. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, which angered China. Now, while Taiwan does not have official diplomatic ties with the U.S., Washington has long been its primary ally and arms supplier. Lai emphasized that Taiwan aims to resist authoritarian expansion and contribute to regional stability and prosperity. He made a comment during his visits to Palau after a stop in Guam. Meanwhile, China, which claims Taiwan is part of its territory, warned the U.S. against meddling in Taiwan's affairs. Lai responded to threats of military drills from China, stressing that Taiwan and China are not subordinate to each other. China has warned Taiwan that relying on U.S. support in its fight for independence will ultimately reach a dead end. This comes after Taiwan President Ching-te completed a Pacific tour this week. The tour, along with a phone call with U.S. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, sparked heavy criticism from China, which claims Taiwan is part of its territory and opposes any international recognition of the island. President Lai expressed confidence in deepening ties with incoming U.S. President Donald Trump and insisted that Taiwan and China are not subordinate to each other. Meanwhile, Chinese official Lin urged the U.S. to stop interfering in Taiwan-related matters and insisted Taiwan is part of China.
势力的分裂活动和外部势力的纵容支持，是台海和平稳定面临的最大威胁。赖清德和民进党当局一贯打着各种幌子搞台独分裂，无论他们说什么、做什么，都改变不了台湾是中国一部分的客观事实，更阻挡不了中国终将统一，也必然统一的历史大势。以外谋独，必定失败。我们敦促美方认清赖清德和民进党当局的台独本性，认清台独分裂行径对台海和平稳定的严重危害，恪守一个中国原则和中美3个联合公报，停止插手台湾事务、干涉中国内政，停止支持纵容台独分裂势力。
Now pressure is growing for the impeachment of South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol following his failed attempt to impose martial law. Kang Dong-hoon, head of Yoon's People's Power Party, warns that the nation is at significant risk, citing concerns that the president could once again attempt to undermine civilian rule, putting citizens in grave danger. It stresses the urgent need for Yoon's removal from office to protect the nation's democratic stability.
새로이 드러나고 있는 사실 등을 감안할 때 대한민국과 국민을 지키기 위해서 윤석열 대통령의 조속한 직무 집행 정지가 필요하다고 판단합니다. 윤석열 대통령이 대한민국의 대통령직을 계속 수행할 경우에는 이번 비상계엄과 같은 극단적인 행동이 재현될 우려가 크고 그로 인해서 대한민국과 대한민국의 국민들을 큰 위험에 빠뜨릴 우려가 크다고 생각합니다.
Let's take a short break. Now, when we return, we'll tell you that Milei criticizes Mercosur for restricting member nations. Details shortly. Thank you for staying tuned. In South America, Argentine President Javier Milei has warned that Mercosur, the trade bloc founded by Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, has ended up becoming a prison for its members. And speaking at the 65th Mercosur summit in Montevideo, Milei criticized the bloc's common external tariff, which he said has made local production more expensive and limited trade opportunities. He noted that Mercosur's global trade influence has declined from 1.8% to 1.6% since the mid-1990s. Milei called for a new formula with greater flexibility, arguing that the bloc's restrictions prevent members from fully leveraging their export potential. He emphasized the need for autonomy and flexibility in trade agreements, urging Mercosur's members to adopt a more open approach.
El Mercosur, que nació con la idea de profundizar nuestros lazos comerciales, terminó convirtiéndose en una prisión que no permite que sus países miembros puedan aprovechar ni sus ventajas comparativas ni su potencial exportador. Este problema no es nuevo.
South American nations have concluded a major trade deal. European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen announced on Friday, calling it a historic milestone. The agreement involving the Mercosur bloc Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay aims to create a free trade zone for over 700 million people after nearly 25 years of negotiation. Von der Leyen emphasized its significance amid global trends towards isolation. However, the deal has faced opposition from France and European farmers, with Copa-Cogeca calling for protests. Critics argue it threatens fair competition, with France, Poland, and others expressing reservations. Approval still requires 15 EU countries representing 65% of the population and the European Parliament. Germany and Spain have backed the deal, hailing it as an economic bridge to Latin America.
And to our farmers, we have heard you, listened to your concerns, and we are acting on them. This agreement includes robust safeguards to protect your livelihoods. EU-Mercosur is the biggest agreement ever when it comes to the protection of EU food and drinks products. More than 350 geographical indications protect those products. And in addition, our European health and food standards remain untouchable. This is the reality of an agreement that will save EU companies 4 billion euros worth of export duties per year, while expanding our markets and opening new opportunities for growth and jobs on both sides.
Until turning attention to Europe, where Georgia's Prime Minister Irakli Kobakhidze has claimed victory against pro-European protesters amid a deepening political crisis following his suspension of EU accession talks. A protest erupted in Tbilisi after the governing Georgian Dream Party, accused of authoritarianism and pro-Russian leanings, declared victory in the disputed October election. Kobakhidze's announcement delaying EU talks until 2028 sparked mass demonstration, with police deploying tear gas and water cannons. On Friday, Kobakhidze praised security forces for reducing protest activity, declaring his government has won an important battle against liberal fascism. He pledged to continue efforts to neutralize the opposition, a stance echoing Kremlin rhetoric. While turnout at protests has declined, tensions in Georgia remain high, with no resolution to the crisis in sight.
ჩვენ ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი ბრძოლა მოვიგეთ ლიბერალური ფაშიზმის წინააღმდეგ ჩვენს ქვეყანაში, თუმცა საქართველოში ლიბერალური ფაშიზმი არის საბოლოოდ დასამარცხებელი და რა თქმა უნდა მიმართულებით მუშაობა გაგრძელდება. თქვენ ხედავდით რომ ჩვენ ვართ აბსოლუტურად მონდომებული, რომ ბოლომდე მივიყვანოთ რადიკალური ოპოზიციის სრულად განეიტრალების საქმე. კოაბიტაციის არავითარი ნიშანწყალი არ უნდა დარჩეს ამ ქვეყანაში უახლოეს მომავალში და ლიბერალური ფაშიზმის არავითარი ნიშანწყალი არ უნდა დარჩეს უახლოეს მომავალში.
And after more than a week of pro-EU protests in Georgia, no leader has emerged to guide the mass movement demanding new elections. Protesters have stated that their lack of faith in political parties is the reason for the absence of a leader. They believe this leaderless structure may benefit them as it makes it harder to decapitate the movement without a central figure. The protests reflect growing frustration with the political system, with demonstrators aiming to push for change while avoiding traditional party politics. The movement has remained leaderless, focusing on collective action rather than individual leadership.
Every single person here, they have just one clear message: no to Russia and new elections. So that is a strength. If you look at this system in context of confrontation, you cannot behead this kind of process, this kind of confrontation. There is no king on the desk.
The people did not come out to protest about the rigged elections because they did not trust the opposition parties. But when it came to the change of course and suspending the negotiations with the EU, people were very angry, and that is why they came out. They did not need any leader. They are protesting for themselves and for Georgia.
We don't need any leaders. We are leaders. People, free people. We are leaders. We don't need any leaders from opposition party.
But I think that it's really good because in case we have a political leaders right now, they could very easily be detentioned or jailed, imprisoned, and so on. And without leaders, people are sometimes confused. But here we are our own leaders. So.
Still in Europe, President Vladimir Putin has replaced Kursk region's governor after local anger over the handling of a Ukrainian incursion. Now Ukrainian forces launched a surprise offensive in August, causing thousands to flee and leaving 800 square kilometers under Ukrainian control. Putin appointed Alexander Kikinstein, a pro-Kremlin lawmaker, as acting governor, citing the need for crisis management. Kikinstein acknowledged communication failures and pledged to better support residents. The previous governor, Alexei Smenov, resigned voluntarily after facing criticism for his lackluster response to the crisis. Locals, particularly from Olgovka, have voiced frustration over inadequate evacuation warnings. Some residents have created video messages to Putin calling for help, and former governor Roman Starovrot expressed hope that Kikinstein would improve communications.
В этой связи хотел бы вам предложить должность исполняющего обязанности губернатора Курской области, имея в виду, что сейчас там востребовано кризисное управление, безусловно, в той ситуации, в которой Курская область сейчас находится. По мере освобождения территории от противника, там, конечно же, нужно будет очень много сделать для восстановления жилищно-коммунального хозяйства, по восстановлению экономики этих территорий в целом, ну и той, которая сейчас освобождается нашими войсками. Ну, а самое главное, нужно организовать работу по помощи людям, которые в этой помощи, безусловно, нуждаются. И в текущем режиме, и в ближайшем будущем.
Этих задач. Это наша земля, и, конечно же, мы должны сделать все для того, чтобы все жители Курской области.
Ukrainians are on edge as Russian threats of a devastating missile attack continue. INA, accustomed to near daily air raid sirens since Russia's invasion, rushed to the metro station in Kyiv on Friday after warnings of an incoming ballistic missile. She expressed that ballistics are much worse, highlighting the growing anxiety in the capital. Now, last month, President Vladimir Putin launched a new hypersonic missile, Orenchnik, at Dnipro, warning it could strike Kyiv. Despite the missile not hitting Kyiv, residents including Pavlo and his cat sought shelter in the metro, fearing Putin's promises of further attacks. Ina, who has family in Russian-occupied territories, as about 100 others joined her in the shelter, added that they are very scared.
In Ukraine, we are high developed. Okay, I can show you, but we have a lot of channels and applications that show to us if it's really danger or much more danger or a little bit danger today, like a weather. We can monitor in real time what missile fly to Ukraine right now. In real time we can see this. So for now it's like high risk of new missile, so we decided to go down.
Тому що зараз балістична загроза. Це небезпечно. Останній раз це було дуже масштабно і небезпечно. Тому ми тут чекаємо. А взагалі-то ми волонтери Червоного Хреста. І ми їхали на захід для волонтерів, тому поки тут чекаємо.
Ну, дивіться, у нас є телеграм-канали, пишуть, яка приблизна загроза. Ми бачимо, що балістика це, ну, скажімо так, на жаль, до шахедів ми вже звикли. Дуже-дуже на жаль.
And that's all on Beyond the Continent. You can watch your Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adirugba.